want to play it. Usually it's like there's a lot of like mono scenes, but I just don't care. It's just like let's have as much fun as possible.
I get a suggestion and run with it. I tried to be very careful to not see the suggestions because I hate even knowing anything about what's out there first.
We'll let's see, I'll bring us on Facebook, and then I'll tell you the number. So I'll give you how many we got, and then just pick one.
Right.
And then afterwards, I like to ask people how they got into improv. And then you can talk too if I'll try and talk about like teaching and things like that if you're offering classes or things like that. But we'll talk about that afterwards.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Here we go. All right, my friend. Let's see. We got 39 suggestions.
Nice.
So pick a number 1 to 39.
Okay, so I have to be completely predictable for me because the rule of threes in improv, so I'm gonna go 33.
Yeah, and that makes it easy for me to count backwards too, so thank you. 39, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, so this comes from Jason Hayter. Oh, this is great. And the suggestion is, hey, you tried. Hey, you tried.
Okay, all right.
Thanks, Jason.
You tried. I mean, you did the best you could. I mean,
yeah.
Not everybody has success their first time.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it takes a lot of effort and work and perseverance. And I mean, you know, most people learn to tie their shoes when they're 5, okay? It's a kind of a rite of passage. So I mean, I know you feel really bad about it. I mean, obviously you've been ridiculed your whole life. But I mean, it's admirable that you're wanting to leave the Velcro shoes behind because, you know, is not a good sound for any grown man.
I mean, I try. It's like the rabbit ears, and then you chase through and you pull, and it's just I get one rabbit ear, and then the other one doesn't happen, and I feel the pressure. Then everybody's watching me do it, and like, you know, once you say like, hey, what's going on with Velcro shoes? I get real nervous.
Right. And I know, and it was totally wrong of Ted at the gym to tie your shoes for you. Like, I know he was trying to be helpful, but that just called you out in front of everybody.
I didn't want him to tie my shoes. That's the thing. I wanted to do it. And you know, Ted, he walks over and like it's from a good place in his heart. But if I wanted it tied, I would have tied it myself.
Right. I mean, it's hard. I know you've been stunted. And I mean, there's, definitely lots of other things that we can go over as well to get you up to speed. Boiling an egg, flossing your teeth. We can get there though. I mean, it's really going to take some practice. You just have to be kind to yourself.
I want to try.
You want to try?
Yeah, I want to try it.
Get the shoe right now. Go on. Get the New Balance. Those are your lucky ones. Okay. Now remember what we said in a deep breath.
You're still gonna care about me if I don't do it, right?
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course.
And
of course.
You're still gonna care about me if I don't do it right, right?
Right. Yes, I will.
Okay. All right, Sandy. Okay.
Come on, Bill, you can do this. You can do this.
We're not walking down the aisle unless I've tied my shoes myself.
Right. I mean, I know it seems trivial. I know it seems like a really basic requirement, But honestly, I mean, that's just where the bar is these days for men. You just got to be able to tie your own shoes. Okay,
Okay.
where's the rabbit ear? Make the first rabbit ear. You can do it. You can do it. Come
Okay.
on,
Right.
Bill.
Look. Okay. That's it. I got it. I got one. I am halfway.
Okay,
I'm like halfway home.
you're halfway home. One more ear. One more ear. You can do it. Come on.
I understand, and then when I try to do it, it's like I intellectually understand, but then like my hands don't want to work. I can do okay. I'm thinking too much. I'm thinking too much.
Just free your mind. Free your mind. Free your mind.
Uh,
Deep breath
so
in.
how? Let's just distract my. How was your lunch? Was your lunch good?
Oh, my lunch was great. Except Betty, of course, is having issues again at her work.
Always. She's always
Always,
having issues.
always. No, then this is the fourth time that she's been called into HR.
I mean, don't you have to get fired at a certain point?
No, well, when you are the owner's niece, you get away with a lot.
I mean, it just sucks. I'm sorry for you, but that sucks.
It was okay. I mean, the chef salad was good, so it was my last.
Ah,
Okay, okay. See, all right.
go.
See, it was too much distraction. I'm sorry.
I got one. I
Okay.
got one.
All right, now look, we've got the deposit down
Okay.
on the hall. And I know this seems maybe even cruel of me, but I mean, if you can't tie the knot here, we can't tie the knot there.
It's not cruel. What you're doing, I feel like, is very supportive of me. You're right. If I can't, this is a metaphor. This is a metaphor for us. And if I can't tie you're right. If I can't tie the knot here, I don't deserve to tie the knot there. It's just a knot. It's nothing.
Right. It's just
5-year-olds. That doesn't represent my love for you. It's just a shoelace. It's a shoelace. That's all it is.
right. It's just a shoelace. And
Okay.
it certainly doesn't represent your reluctance to get into this whole relationship at all either, right?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Oh, okay. I got the two bunny ears. Look, I've got the two bunny
Bunny ears.
ears. It's fine.
And bunnies get along, right? Bunnies get along really well together, don't they?
They love each other so, and you know what else they do a lot of, right? I mean,
Exactly.
yeah. Okay. All right.
Right.
Well, look, it's like, hello. Hello.
Right.
Hello. It's nothing to be afraid of.
Um,
Okay. Around the curve.
through,
Round. Okay.
right.
Under. Okay. Okay. I'm almost home. Okay.
It's all right. It's okay. This means everything, but that's all right. It's no pressure.
I love that you don't want to coddle me anymore. I've always
No.
been coddled, and that's not helping me right now.
Right.
I'm 40. I'm 40. I'm a grown adult.
Yeah.
What's funny is as soon as I learn this and get this down, then pretty soon I'm going to want to go back to the Velcro shoes because of my age.
It is the irony of life.
My hands are shaking. My hands don't shake like this in surgery. When I'm in surgery, my hands don't shake like this. I'm like a rock.
I know. And how do you do those sutures? I mean, come on. This isn't that much different.
I might give it a shot, and no matter what happens, I still love you. I still care about you. I don't feel any pressure by you. I don't feel pressured by you. That's what I'm afraid of, is that you're going to think I'm feeling pressured by you, but I don't feel pressured
I
by
don't want
you.
you to feel pressure from me because I'm not wanting you to get pressure or feel pressure because I want to take the pressure off that pressure.
Around the curve. Past the phone. Come on, bunnies.
Come on home.
Come on home. I did it.
You did it! Oh my God, you did it!
I did it. I did it. I did it. I did. Look at this. Like a rock. This is like a rock. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's not is here to stay.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's forever. It's permanent. It's for a lifetime. It's long term.
This is us. This is us.
Yeah. Okay.
Should we?
Now let's talk about boiling those eggs, huh?
Yeah. Scene. Oh, you're the best. That was so fun. Yeah. I mean, it's so like playing with you is so easy, and I think that's in general, but also because we have a history and we played together. I feel like you can step right back in with a lot of like there are certain people you can just step right back into, and it's like, okay, cool. This is just like we didn't lose any time.
Right. Because it's that trust too. I think I have like a litmus test that I give to people. So it's like if they're like, I took an improv class, I'm like, all right, you're already, 10 points ahead in my book. And then like once you form that bond, then it's just there. You've got that trust, and you know that that person's on the same wavelength. So you can just be vulnerable. You can take that leap. You can take that risk, and you just play.
And it's like, oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's fun to kind of like what I've really worked at through my improv learning and teaching and everything is finding that switch that you can just flip and just commit completely to it. And like, don't worry about being clever, what you're saying, what's going on, just like completely play. Like, when it comes to object work for me, like I'm not thinking about the object, I'm literally seeing it.
Yes.
In my head. And so then like keeping that sense of like wonder and playfulness is just like what's basically keeping me going these days.
Well, and that switch you talk about, it's to think back to like the beginning, it's sometimes hard because it's like, oh God, it's such a different, and not just like chronologically, but with what's happened, it's such a long time ago. But like, did you feel that there was a point in your improv journey where you're like, okay, I get it? Or do you think it was like a gradual place?
I don't know that there's a time where I thought I get it.
Yeah.
I think where I felt like I was getting it is when people would say to me, like you just did, I like playing with you. Because every time I get on stage with you, I know that I'm going to be okay. And I know I'm going to have fun. And I know we're going to get through this. And it's like, that to me means I got something, I'm figuring something out. And then there's still moments like when I'm teaching my class or even like with my band, like I'll have this like kind of performance anxiety beforehand. And it's like, why the hell did I tell somebody that I could sing and play guitar for 3 hours? Like, what the hell were you thinking? Like, you really think you can do that? Okay, all right, good luck with that.
Yeah, and your brain goes, this is the show they figure out you're a fraud.
Well, and I was nervous about this. It was like I was nervous, but I'm like, it's Jay. Like, come on, like, Jay's good. And that I think is like, that's what made me feel comfortable because I know you, and I know I can. I can trust you and play to that same level.
Well, but it's true, isn't it funny? It's like I think as an artist and doing this especially, you still, no matter what it is, you still get nervous. Like even if I was to say, hey, let's just do this for nobody,
right?
There would still be an element of like your brain getting scared about the unknown. And it's like, no, and then once you start like, you just say hi, then it's like, oh, right, that all goes away.
And each time it feels like a fluke. Every success feels like a fluke. Like, oh, that song that you wrote that was good, well, enjoy it because that was the last one that's ever going to happen. Or that scene that got laughs, well, good luck with that because you better really remember that because that's never going to happen again. So
why don't you go sit in the corner and think about
right, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, like that's again, like some of the things I try to tell like my classes, it's like no, the biggest thing is like nobody dies.
Yes.
Nobody dies. It's a bad scene. Maybe you embarrass yourself. Does somebody die? No. And then I think what people don't understand when they're doing it is like, you don't get thrown out on the stage to do a scene immediately.
Yeah.
Like you take baby steps and you reconnect with that sense of playfulness that we kind of put on the shelf when we get to be adults, because it's like, you know, when you're a kid, there's like this abundance of movement and it's superfluous movement. Like you're just sitting there and I'm going to run down the street and I'm going to do the thing. And it's like, but that all goes away when you're an adult because you're supposed to behave.
Yeah.
And it's not efficient and it's not worthwhile. And I think the same thing happens mentally where it's like, oh, those playful thoughts, those aren't efficient and those aren't necessary. So you can just kind of leave those behind. And so I think that's like the biggest lie and the biggest crime that I think happens is that people leave that behind.
Well, I think I forget who said it, but it might be like Phyllis Diller or George Carlin who said, you know, for the first year of a kid's life, you can't wait for them to walk and talk. And then the rest of their life, they're told to sit down and shut up.
Sit down and shut up. Exactly. Exactly. And so, I mean, like, I think it's so freeing to reconnect with that sense of play. It's a drug. It's a total drug. And it's funny when I do that or when I've been performing in the band and I'll come off stage and people will be like, let me buy you a beer. And I'm like, no, like that would totally harsh the buzz I'm on right now. Like I'm so good. Like I just got my hit. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm on my drug. And that's the thing. You're right. It's like that applause and that laughter. That's also a lot of times that's our currency too. That's what we're getting paid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and I think the thing that I was a couple of different teachers that taught me at Second City. It was probably Dave Razowsky.
Yeah.
This is one of his kind of things was like, just do an honest scene.
Yeah.
Because even if it's not funny, it's still connecting with people and it's still deep. And the other thing that I kind of came up with, or maybe somebody else did or whatever, but my syllogism is life is real, life is funny. Be real, you'll be fun.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great because I think that lends into that other, you know, you and I were both taught like be believable, right?
Yeah.
Like just hold a mirror up to things in society. We already look at things in a comedic way naturally. And if we let it kind of come to us and not force
it's a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism. I think and it's so important for other people that maybe haven't developed that to kind of get that relief vicariously through you.
How did you get started? Like I met you like early on. Level 1 or 2 maybe, but like how did you, I don't know if I remember how you got started. Like how did you start taking classes?
Okay, so I'm gonna totally age myself here. So when I was in high school, I would sit outside of the library. Well, let me roll it back even further. When I was in 3rd grade, there was a play that my teacher had written. And it was a completely original thing, and I was playing Gax the Space Lord.
Of course.
Now, somebody else was supposed to play that, but they ended up getting sick, and so I had to fill in. And I had my dad's big work boots and a cape, and I was just pulling faces and being silly. And I got laughs, and it was like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
And when I was in high school, I would sit outside the library with a bunch of like the kids that were like not cool, and just naturally riff on things. And I didn't know why or how I was doing it. I just know I was making them laugh. And I loved that. And they would tell me, you should be a stand-up comic. You should be a stand-up comic. You should do that. So I don't even know how or why I had heard of Second City. There's no internet. So I called 311 information. And I called Second City and like with no clue what the hell I was getting into. I'm like, I'd like to sign up for improv comedy class. And so I was at Second City Northwest.
Yep.
And that's where I had Mia Vardalos and Ian Gomez and Dave Razowsky and Steve Colbert.
Yeah.
And then went downtown, and then I had Martin DeMott and I had Carrie Goldenberg and Michael Gelman. And like I had the people that, like when I was in the moment, I didn't realize. I mean, you kind of have an idea like these people are good, but you don't realize who you're playing with.
You don't know.
Because you don't know, but you're playing with them, and then you look back and you're like, wow, like I was with the masters, really. And
I mean,
like that.
No, people ask it. It's like, yeah, you didn't know they were going to go on to do the things they do. You just knew it's like, wow, this person's really inspired me to have fun in this class.
And I think the thing about them, it was like the class of teachers that weren't like, here's how to be funny and end up on Saturday Night Live. It was like, no, like if I had to state what my religion is, it's improv.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Because it's all about yes and. I mean, improv is like a metaphor, another metaphor for life. You're on this stage, you don't know what's coming next.
Yeah.
Everybody's on stage with you and nobody knows what's going to happen. So you listen and you look for the gifts, and when the gifts come, you take them and you play and you explore and heighten, and it's your job to make everybody else look good. And if everybody's doing that, then the whole world is happy.
You look good, we look good, right?
Right.
So,
right.
and it's, yeah, I look back also at going to those shows and watching what they put on stage, that cast, and you're just like, and then later on you see Second City shows and they're good, but you're like, it just was a different level of like writing and acting.
Doesn't have the same spark. There's like when you were at North, because I feel really old now, like the kids these days don't know, but like you saw everybody on that stage and you thought there was just this magic.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not surprised at all by the success of any of them. And I couldn't be happier because nicer, more deserving people couldn't be successful like that. Like it's just,
But they also spent time as a group touring before you hit the stage. So you developed a bond there. You worked on material from the past, but also your own stuff. And then by the time you got into that position, it was basically like you moved up with your group and you saw that bond there and you saw them do things, and Colbert wrote and Amy Sedaris and Danilo and Neil, like they all also wrote stuff that were like a lot of religious stuff too, like a lot of commentary on religion and politics and very smart stuff. And I just am I look back at that time now, and also the people that not just we watched, but like you and Vesna and Bob and Ed and Judy and all those people. And you're just like, oh, I guess that's why when I teach, I'm always focused on the ensemble because it was such an important part of my journey and I couldn't have done it without that. And that's what clicked for me is like this group, it's about the group. It's about the group.
Right. And I think the cool thing, like not only did that group have that trust to be brave and go outside their comfort zone, but that friendship, there was also like, I'm gonna fuck with you a little bit. I want to have some fun, and I'm gonna teach you, and like wonderful balance of all of that.
It's that thing of like, I'm gonna throw the frisbee just far enough for you to catch it and look good, but we're gonna mess with each other, and you're gonna throw it back to me far enough. Like we're gonna screw with each other in the best way.
Definitely. And it's play. It's absolute play. That's all it is.
And you said it earlier. It's like we forget the importance of play as we get to be adults, and it's so important and it's so critical, and it adds so much to your life, that element of play. And it's seen as frivolous when really it's like the most important thing is that sense of play.
That's how everything learns. Animals, human beings. That's how we learn, by playing. So if you aren't playing, you aren't learning, and you're kind of stagnating. Then what's the point?
You also teach now too, which is very exciting. The fact that
it's kind of like on hiatus because it's a little bit more difficult to do over Zoom. We still try to, manage a couple of sessions every now and then, but everybody's all zoomed out too.
Sure.
And so it's hard, but the thing that I really focused on is I really wanted people. I was hoping and trying to do my best to honor the teachers that I had.
Yeah.
And give people the same experience that I had.
Yeah.
Like give them that love where they're like, oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for. This is so amazing. And I've gotten some feedback. Again, like I don't know, but when I hear people tell me like, I've needed this is exactly what I've looked for. It's like I'm doing something right. And even Judy, bless her soul, like, Judy taught us for I don't know how many years. And like, again, that was another special moment, that special moment in time where you're like, we get to play with these wonderful people every week for
Yeah.
like several years. And then, you know, I knew Judy's my friend. Of course, I know she's special. I know she's amazing. But then, like, once you see all of the lives that she impacted,
Yes.
and it's like, I always say too, the other thing I say that, like, if everybody had access to hot showers and improv, there would be world peace.
It's so true.
It's true. It's
Let's
true.
let's combine them and do swimprov. Do improv.
Improv, yeah. It flows
Um,
with the tongue too. Improv.
Where, if people want to reach out to you, whether it's like they want to check out your band or if they want to, connect with you or just follow what you're doing or things like that, like, or learn, be alerted and when you start teaching again, like what's the best way they can do it?
They can either reach out to me directly on Facebook, Nancy Mosinski, Mosinski, or my band is called Luna Blue, and that's BLU. There's no E, so it's lunablueband.com. Or you can find me. It's called Improv for Women, or you can search for Anne's Haven.
Mm,
That's the place in Chicago where we do it. It's kind of like this wonderful little spot that it's like a community center, but it really focuses on women's needs and classes and support and things like that. And I really felt like I wanted to do something specifically for women because sometimes a little bit, men can be a little bit overbearing.
you think?
Or maybe make people feel like a little reluctant. So I wanted a
Yeah.
safe space just for women. So that's what I did.
Well, that's so great. I was so happy when you started getting back into teaching again, and it's just so fun playing with you. And whether it's in person or virtual, or whatever, Nancy, I can't wait to play with you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, good to see you.
Great to see you, my friend. We'll talk soon.
All right, sounds good.
Bye.